everybody? YaBoyRocklee, and I am rocking the big three. Oh, oh. Am I missing anybody? Oh, I think I just started the video off pretty bad. All right, well, jokes aside, folks, jokes aside, just giving you guys an update on how the hurricane affected us and how we're managing content, moving forward. And just a reminder, this is actually something I used to do and how I used to manage things, and it worked smoothly, and I kind of got away from it over time. So anyways, we got hit by a hurricane, guys. I wasn't able to record for many days. You guys actually still got content, even though I wasn't able to record because I have reserved videos. That's one of the things. So YouTube, some of our shows like Bleach is literally a month ahead of you guys. One Piece is like 6 weeks ahead of you guys. Stranger Things is like 2 weeks ahead, and so forth and so forth. Some of our shows is not as spaced out like that. But even on Patreon, I used to have 2 weeks before you guys. And what happened is, we did it during COVID because in the event of a lockdown or a quarantine, we didn't want to have to make the decision of, yeah, you're infected, but we still got to get together. Otherwise, we're not going to post videos, and that's our livelihood. We don't want to have to face those decisions. So we used to have like 2 weeks worth of reserve. So if anything happened, we can socially distance and still be able to upload videos in peace, right? What happened with this hurricane is we tethered our uploads. I got power first. We started recording, and immediately people were like, "Stranger Things, where's Made in Abyss?" And it's like, guys, we just got hit by a hurricane. We're trying to get back. So I want to talk to you about how the hurricane affected us really quick and going into the reserves. So some of the decisions I had to make during the hurricane was when I was coming back to record, I actually did not have power at my house at the time. I bought a generator, and I was like, the reports are saying we could be without power for 1 to 3 weeks. And I'm like, I might be holding out, and then the power is 3 weeks. So then what? I'm not expecting patrons to stick around for 3 weeks. I'm not expecting my algorithm to do good after 3 weeks of inconsistent posting, especially on some of the new shows that really get the algorithm going. So I was like, man, I gotta go back home. And it was a sad decision when I made it because I told my daughter, and she's like, so we're gonna go home. There's no power. There's no electricity. There's no internet. And I looked at it, and it really broke my heart. But I had to make the tough dad decision where it's like, I love you, baby. I know it's not going to be comfortable, but dad has to provide. I do real estate and I do YouTube videos. The real estate market, blown away right now. It's very complicated to try to sell a house right now. And the buyer's like, whoa. Now you got to make sure that the property doesn't, there's all these things with real estate. That's not what you guys are here for. And on YouTube, it's like, whoa. I can't have both suffering, and I got a family, I got a mortgage, et cetera, et cetera. So anyways, I had to make some tough decisions, but on my way back, we did actually get power back. So instead of having to record and then drive back up to Tampa where I was staying, because my friend let us stay with us, I was going to drive down, record videos, and then drive back up to upload them and edit. You know what I mean? And then I have to, coordinate with the editors when I'm in one spot versus the next spot. Record, go back up. Record, go back up. While this was going on, my wife was in the nursing home on a lockdown scenario because what happens when these natural events happen? Staff are like, we got our own families. So when you need staff to come in, they're not around. They had to get their kids out. The schools are shut down. There's nowhere to put your kids. So she had to just pick up some extra shifts because she's a director. So it was just me. It's just me and my daughter moving back and forth. And I was faced with the decisions I had to make, right? On director's side, it's like, I need y'all to come in. And he doesn't have power still. And Adorkable just got power today. And we were coming to record on October the 1st. And it's October the 3rd where she just got power. And I'm asking these people that are living without AC, right, to come to the crib. We haven't taken a hot, we're on a boil water alert, either a boil water alert and or low pressure. So I had to ask a tough request from these guys because I'm like, this can be up to 3 weeks, guys. We can't just sit around, all right? Because y'all gonna leave, right? And Adorkable just moved out her parents' house, right? So she is 100% sustaining herself, okay? And director, he relies on this as well. So I'm like, look, it's either I let you guys just stay home, but Adorkable, you're gonna have to move back with your parents' house, right? Because the stream got messed up. I think you guys got enough of it. And another caveat is the way the hurricane works. Like, just because I have power, that doesn't mean the entire team has power, right? So it doesn't mean the entire county has power. If anyone has to drive late at night, any driving in general is dangerous because the lights aren't working everywhere. Okay. Not all the grocery stores are stocked, right? Not all the grocery stores have power. There's not gas for everybody. So every time I'm asking people to drive over, they're diminishing their gas supply, and then when they have to go forage for food, they may run out of gas. There's literally cars at the side of the road because they didn't have gas and they pushed it. So even though like my house has power, it's still very much not a normal environment for everybody. And resources, electricity is scarce between gas, between the grocery store, and between trying to drive in safety, guys. And so that's where I'm going back to when I was talking about with reserve content. Okay, we are going to be posting Stranger Things immediately after Cobra Kai rather than try to post Cobra Kai and Stranger Things at the same time. This new season of Stranger Things, when I look at the time, they're like 20 minutes longer than the previous season. It's a lot to try to record at the one time, and we need back the reserves. So here is what I'm talking about with reserves. We used to, like I said, have 2 weeks worth of content. It's important, guys, for if someone has an emergency, a health crisis, that they don't have to weigh. Like I literally was in the hospital last year, and I had to deal with these kind of decisions where I'm recording and I'm in pain because I had a kidney stone removed, and that was an awful procedure. So, anyways, I don't want the team or myself to have to deal with these decisions where it's like I have a health scenario, but we're in an industry where if I don't have reserved content, you guys get nothing, and we have to be like at the beck and mercy. Like, are they gonna leave because there's no videos? Are they gonna leave? So we're gonna go back to the style of recording when we start things, and by the time we start releasing it, we would have already had like 2 weeks worth of reserves. People didn't like it initially because they want to comment with us in real time. But in the reality, you guys, it gets spoiled, right? Not by everybody. It's really like 10% of the population that spoils, and the most of the other people are fine. So the reason why that's important is we used to do it anyways, right? And it was fine. But what happens is when people hear, yo, you finished the end of One Piece? Yo, release all the One Piece. What you holding back for? Because the reality is, when you release all of the show, you have to immediately go find another show to replace it with. And it's a constant drive, a constant thing. End the show, YouTubers and Patreon want it as soon as possible, and then replace it. Come on, what's the next thing? And like I said, without a 2-week buffer worth of content, when we have an emergency, we're not able to focus just on the emergency. So anyways, even right now, our director doesn't have power or electricity, so he just got done recording, and he has to, pick up some food before the curfew hits. There's nowhere to store the food, right? So if you want some fresh food, go out to one of the places that does have power, get it, eat it, but there's nowhere to store it without it going bad. So he can't record as long as we normally would record when he comes over, because he has to go find some food and get home, before a certain time because there's a curfew. And you don't want to be driving out when it's nighttime because not all of our streets even have power. And it's like, ideally, with reserved content and the way I used to have it during COVID, we don't have to make those kind of decisions, man. It's like, yo, just stay here for 2 hours. We don't got to record for 6 hours, And people consistently get our content because I'll start tapping into those reserves. Just like the fuel that United States holds, large sums of reserves, in case things happen, and you start, pulling into it. So in the grand scheme of things, your amount of content that you're seeing is barely affected. What happens is I just stopped holding reserves. When I recorded things, I would drop bonuses to you guys. I would just start giving you guys some extra stuff every now and then, just because why am I holding it? COVID is over. So that's really, you're still going to be getting the same amount of content for the most part. There's not a big change. It's just addressing that topic of, he recorded this 2 weeks ago and he didn't release it earlier. He recorded this a month ago. He didn't release this earlier. There needs to be some type of reserved content. So when we have an emergency, we still have things to release, and we can focus on our health, our family first. And like I said, I had to make important decisions regarding my daughter. I had to make, asking my crew to come in, and it's like, I'd rather just give them some more time to focus on their family or whatnot, and not have to come be uncomfortable, and be self-conscious of body odor. And in our situation right now, it's body odor that would be a potential concern. That being said, we actually don't have a BO situation, so shout out to the team that they take good care of themselves. They don't have to worry. But that's what I was thinking. I'm like, yo. And especially if it was a bunch of homies, I'm not even gonna lie. If it was a bunch of homies, I wouldn't even think about it, But we do have ladies with us, and when you ask a lady to come into close quarters, you gotta be conscious. Ladies, they're gonna think a little bit differently. 2022, you can't talk like you used to. So I'm just gonna say it with my goddamn chest out. Ladies like to smell a certain way, much more than guys typically will. And, there's guys that like their cologne. I wear my cologne, but if I want to stink, I could take pride in it. Yo, nigga, I stink, bro. But hey, man, we got to do this. And ladies, it's like, it's not the same, man. It's just not the same. At least it's the chivalry, simp nature in me that you got to make sure we prioritize these ladies' hygiene, and we're conscious of what we're asking them to come in and, deal with. It's just something to think about. They might say yes, hey, I'm willing to do it. That's actually what Adorkable did. But it's like if I could have avoided even having to ask, I would have wanted that with confidence that we have stuff to upload. Just stay home. You could come when you have power, which would have only been 2 more days. Then I would say, hey, you got power? You all good? You got AC? You could take a hot shower? All right, we can resume recording. Director, you good? You got AC? All right, good. We can resume recording. That's also the kind of manager I want to be. Now I'm going into the rant thing. Like, even just managing, like, that's what I want to be. And aside, back to the income part of it, there's 4 editors that rely on this channel. This is like one of my editors. This is all he does. He only works with me. A couple of them, a little branched out, but it's like, there's like 7 people that are all connected to this operation, and then our families and whatnot. So that's that. Just kind of explain myself. Like I said, there's not any big change, but every now and then I deal with people that are like, yo, you recorded this a long time ago, man. You should have released it. And they start messaging me. You guys don't see the messages that I get. And just reminding people. I used to do it like this, and we're doing it again. So let me know what you guys think. Much love. Like I said, not big changes. We are going to continue Stranger Things. Just going to finish Cobra Kai. So Stranger Things should be resumed in like 2 weeks from now on the Patreon side. Okay? So like I said, much love to you guys. YaBoyRocklee, I am out.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you for subscribing to this channel. If you haven't followed me on Twitter, please go ahead and do so. The link is in the description of this video, and I actually tweet back. Much love, YaBoyRocklee.